chapter number 14 of tourism. It's a continuation of the previous chapter number 13, growth and pattern of tourism in the world. Now, we quickly have to define two things, the word growth, which refers to increase or decrease in the numbers or percentage of the tourists compared to the previous year or the previous season. Pattern is more like, you find patterns. So you find a sequential distribution of tourists around activities around the earth. So, for example, a pattern would be suddenly if it's a very hot season, summer season, you will find hill stations being flocked, beaches being flocked, or you find Europe, people usually prefer going in not extreme winter, or things like that. Or maybe there is a Dubai festival that's happening, the Global Expo, and these are the areas, the patterns where people travel. So what we'll do, again, it's a very short chapter. Some technical things might be there. But the most important thing in this chapter is this: the factors affecting tourism in the world. Why would tourists travel? What reason would tourists travel? And it's very interesting. Number one, think of the keyword money, high income of the tourist. It's called the amount of dollar money that you have got. Dollar is just a fraction. It could be euro and Indian rupee. By the way, in today, thanks to our prime minister, you can use Indian currency in Eiffel Tower, Paris. So it's high income. The tourists have a lot of money. They travel. The same thing is continuing a growing middle class. It's called PP, purchasing power. So the middle class have better jobs, more entitlement, holiday bonuses, packages, and that's what happens when they go. Along with that, you can also say they are paid holidays. So company wants to give them a bonus, a Thailand trip, suddenly a Dubai trip comes in, and then these paid holidays, people use it, or a voucher. Also, the travel cost. So if you look at the discounts, the offers that the companies give, airline company comes up with a season discount, book your ticket now, pay advance and block your tickets. That's a very good advantage. 100% technology, not just technology, it is along with technology, use the word updated knowledge or media. So today, if you see, remember it in two ways, it's always pairs. So this is together. If you just open any Instagram, there are travel bloggers. The moment you see a blogger, you say, oh, I love the way, oh, 5 things to do in Bali, Indonesia, how to spend your time in Singapore, what are the good things in Masai Mara, in Kenya. Suddenly you are excited, you want to go to these places. Then there are tour operators who will completely do a package. You can just go to makemytripbooking.com, an entire package there. Namaste Dubai. A lot of operators are there. Give some examples, you'll know. And then finally, the rise of new destinations. So what happens is places you didn't know. You only thought Singapore is a good place. You only thought Maldives is a good place. Maybe, as I said, Andaman Nicobar or Lakshadweep in India itself is a wonderful place. People didn't know Greece is even an exciting place. There are many areas we didn't know. Smaller islands, Phuket, Vietnam, much cheaper than Singapore, or Indonesia, much cheaper than the other countries. And suddenly it's easier for Indian tourists to go there. This is what we learned. So remember, there's so many ads, YouTube videos, social media, bloggers. These are places, factors that affect tourists in the world. It's one, if you only remember this is one thing you have to remember from this chapter, and all you have done is your entire effort is validated. Of course, you can read through the whole thing, explain that to you. Now, what are the places people want to go? Tourist attractions in a particular place. We have done this in multiple ways in different chapter. Number one is cultural. So, for example, if you want to go to a place like Delhi, and suddenly there are historical sites, there are archaeological sites, Qutub Minar, Red Fort, go little Fatehpur Sikri, there is the fort out there. You want to see the Agra is known for architecture, but so many temples have great architecture. I went to, Ahmedabad, and Ahmedabad has some historic places. These are places you want to go. Culturally, of course, when you go to a place, think not just the monuments, but also cuisine, good food. You go and eat pani puri or golgappas or South India has different cuisine. There's chettinad. That is what excites you. I recommend, if you are someone like me who watches movies, there is a series called Raja Rasoi or Anya Kahaniya on Netflix. For food bloggers, it's a great place. A friend of mine, Daljit, recommended. I'm sharing it same to you. Raja Rasoi or Anya Kahaniya. And of course, do it after your examinations or whenever you free time. Museums, I love to visit museums. Kolkata Museum is wonderful. The Mumbai Museum is wonderful. Every city in India I've gone to, from Bhopal to, Ahmedabad or Chennai, I visited the museum there. It says a lot about the city, the culture, and these are places you like to check. Number two are natural places. Of course, beaches is there. There are mountains and landscapes and seascapes, parks, but there's also flora and fauna. You can talk about wildlife sanctuaries, reserves, and parks. There are caves, Ajanta and Ellora cave. You go to Alibag, there is an entire trip out there. In Andaman Nicobar, I've seen it. They're open air theaters. You can visit them. Mumbai has started one open air car theater. So many things. Just natural places for you to come and enjoy. There is Geminite shower. That means you can look at the sky and there's so many, they call it shooting stars. Tuta Titara Sitara, that is there. Or in Bhandardara in Maharashtra, you can see fireflies, jugnus. It's beautiful. Think of your experience and you can always explain this. Then you also visit because of events. So as I said, there are festival events like a Kumbh Mela, there's religious event, there's sports event. You watch a sports match, a IPL match or a Pro Kabaddi League. There are trade fairs, exhibitions, and remember MICE, meeting conference, yeah, all of the things that we discuss about in MICE. Recreational, simple sightseeing, shopping, sports is there, hiking, trekking, all of these are recreational things. And finally, entertainment and number 5, think of, Appu Ghar in Delhi, or perhaps Imagica is much better known, or you go to the, the film city, or there is this huge Bahubali set in Hyderabad. So you go Wonderla. So you go to theme park, water park, Wet n Joy, amusement park. Of course, not recommended to go to casinos like Las Vegas is there. Goa has a few of them on the yacht or the cruises. The cinemas, there's so lovely experiences, Inox and just the experience of it. Shopping malls, what better for Indians than shopping across? These are places usually we'll visit as cultural. This is all that this chapter have. Very quickly, this end of the book 2 also, the modules almost getting over. Now, where do tourists come from in India? Mostly, where do tourists in the world travel? Well, France leads the list, right? So, annually, France is the topmost country in the United Nations World Tourism Organization, UN, WTO, which is headquartered, by the way, ironically, not in Paris, but in Madrid, Spain. Remember these small things. So nearly the amount of tourists that comes to France from all over the world is huge, followed by US. That is the huge thing, and then the rest of it. So remember, there are a lot of European countries out there. These are the places people want to go. It's just one beautiful love in Paris, and people want to go to France. There is Disneyland in United States. Spain is very popular. If you've seen movies, they make they make a desirable place. For example, there was a movie called Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Farhan Akhtar, Hrithik Roshan, Abhay Deol, and they say people started going to Spain more because of that. And there are these countries, UK, of course, people go for different reasons. China is there for trade, you can go, and Hungary is number 10. This is just a random question. You can learn which places people go. There's another question that you would love to talk about is what's the growth of tourists? Don't worry about the numbers, but if you consider this average 13%, is the number of tourists visiting East Asia, which is Singapore, Myanmar, Bali, Indonesia, and Pacific is very considerate. 13% followed by Middle East, which is 10%, and Europe and America still major tourist places that people go to. The numbers have grown significantly from 2011, where close to 1,000 million tourists were visiting, and 2015 it's 1,200 million. This is the growth of 4%. There's a question there. How was the growth of the tourists? So you can just write an answer. The growth was by 4%, which is enough for you to answer this. That's all. You don't have to worry about a lot of questions and a lot of answers. Remember East Asia and Pacific as major areas. Europe is still the significant one. And you can get a lot of data if you're interested. As tourism, you've taken a subject, get excited about it. This is the entire numbers that you get. Europe is the large number that you can see, Asia Pacific. And tourist arrivals, FTA, foreign tourist arrivals, that you have a DTA, domestic tourist arrivals. We've spoken about in this. So Europe is still the most favored destination in the world where people go. And South Asia is low, but supposed to getting higher. Start traveling, get your visas, get your tourist passports ready, and all the best. See the world. Bye-bye.